Hi everyone, Peter here from Flow High Performance, and in this presentation we're going to be covering flow in sport and how this mindset can enhance our athletic performance. So what is flow? Flow is a difficult term to describe, but essentially it's a psychological state that we enter during our sport or other activities where we're in the zone. So basically we're completely involved in the activity and it's been described as being on autopilot. But essentially, the important thing to understand is that when we're in this flow state, we generally see optimal performance. So it's when the athlete's in the zone, they're not exactly thinking consciously about all the things they're doing. They're essentially subconsciously just performing at their best. So how does flow occur? So essentially, according to the sports psychology research, flow occurs when we have a high challenge matched with our high skill. So if we're an athlete that's that's got quite high skills at their sport, and we are challenged with someone who also has high skills and it's quite equally matched, then that's when we sort of start entering this state of flow. So we actually have to perform at our best in order to actually meet that challenge. So we're totally involved, we're trying our hardest, and that's when we get that flow and that really high performance. However, if we have, basically this is on a spectrum, if we have low challenge, so the opponent that we're facing is quite poor, but we have high skills, then we sort of get boredom. That's when we're basically smashing the team or the opponent because they're bad and your team is good. That's when we get boredom. If we have low skill, so we're actually not highly skilled, but we're facing an opponent or a team that is very skilled, so it's a very high challenge, but we're not very competent, then we get anxiety. That's when the opponent is running all over you. Then if we have both low skill and low challenge, so we're poor and the opposition is very poor as well, we get apathy. So we get almost disengagement from the activity, like we don't even want to perform at all. So how do we achieve this state of flow that we're talking about? So it's not exactly a controllable task or a controllable mindset to get in, but we can set ourselves up and increase the probability of it occurring. So if we're at an optimal arousal level, so if you look at this chart here, it usually follows an inverted U theory, and it's different for each sports, but essentially we want to be aroused to a point where it's going to enhance our performance, but if we then get further aroused, it can probably decrease our performance. And similarly, if we're not aroused enough, our performance is likely to be low. So we just need to use strategies to be at that optimal arousal level. Maintaining a narrow focus on the task as well. So we need to basically focus on the task, not focus about other things happening in your life, just focus about the sport at that moment. Physical preparation, so that's obviously more of a long-term thing, ensuring that throughout the weeks and months leading up to the competition, that our physical preparation is optimal. And then the last thing is just our confidence and attitude. So actually sort of ties into this focus and arousal, being sort of there in the moment and being confident in your performance and your preparation. So again, to summarize, achieving flow is not a controllable state. We can't just decide when we can and can't be in flow, but we can increase the probability of it occurring by following these general steps. So that's it for this presentation, guys. Thanks for watching and hopefully you got something out of it. You can follow Flow High Performance on Facebook and on Instagram with the details here. And if you haven't already, you can subscribe on YouTube for the latest informative videos. So on social media, you'll find these research infographics, which are essentially the latest research in sports performance training, and they're summarized into these easy to understand pictures so that you don't actually have to go into the journals yourself and read every research paper. These give you a snapshot of basically the latest research and the results of that study. So if you're curious in learning more about sports performance, you can check them out on Facebook and on Instagram. So thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully you got something out of this video.